Whoa, hey, what's this? A very heavy set? Yes, it is. Let's take off this slip here. Oh, baby. Let's focus on the slip first. I know. We'll get to the case in a second. You can skip forward if you want to for that. Yeah, it comes with a slip, of course. This is the regular Blu-ray edition. I didn't want to get the 4K UHD because it only came with 4K UHD disc. I wanted to get the Blu-ray version outside of the fact that it was cheaper, but this was my birthday gift to myself, so I wanted to get that. I didn't care much to get the 4K UHD. I'd seen the film once only in cinemas last year. Just got barcode and whatnot on the back, on the base there, but it does have this whole slip which you can pause and read if you choose to. But yeah, I decided to get the regular Blu-ray 4K remaster rather than the 4K UHD, because I'm like, I don't personally think it's a film that needs a 4K UHD, but I don't mind it having a 4K remaster. The set itself is very weighty. Of course, you've got the iconic look on the front, which is gorgeous. Plain sides, but again has this nice gradient of white to purple. You've got nothing on the back per se outside of a logo, but you do have, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. I had to read that backwards, which is nice. And the same on the other end. Nothing on the top, and nothing on the bibbidi base. It's very clean and smooth, so you can focus on the actual slip itself. So this baby, simply, bada boom. I love this set. I'll start with the books, just because they're more fun to display, I guess. So if you don't give a shit about the books, you can skim more through to see what the actual discs and the casing looks like for all that. So as I mentioned, I had seen this film once before. I saw it at the Astor last year. This is Dissecting the Dead. Comes with original artwork as well. Very nicely done. Which I might add, with all of this artwork, it stretches all the way around. And it comes with a little description. And yeah, I thought the film was good. I think it's somewhat overrated as a film. I'm like, technically it's not such a superb film, especially there's a lot of out of focus shots, but like, it's also like, it could have been better written in terms of its characters. Outside of that, it's not bad. It just can get a little boring, you know, for like 20 minutes into the film. Not 20 minutes into the film, for like a 20-minute period in the film before the biker gang arrive. It's a little dull. Anyway, this Dissecting the Dead is, of course, a big-ass essay book that goes through the whole entire... just a hell of a lot of stuff, alright? It goes through a lot. It goes to the point of having all these behind-the-scenes shots and scenes. Now, of course, I can respect the film for the craft that it is, and I do. I definitely commend it for its for, like, you know, its effects works and how it redefined the zombie genre by the guy who defined the fucking zombie genre. You know, it's still a fun film. It has fun characters, not perfect characters in how they've been written and just completely displayed, to the point that I watched it with my girlfriend last night. She didn't even realize that the two of the main characters were a couple. She thought that the woman who was pregnant, that her husband or, you know, her partner was dead. I'm like, no, they're having dinner right now. This is the only thing that's established in the whole entire film, that they're actually a couple, you know, so... because they don't really interact much. They hardly talk. So it's like, you know, that's its own thing. So that was a hardcover book. I definitely plan to read it through at some stage. But then, of course, there is also this, which is the novelization of the film, also with its own artwork, written by Romero and Susanna Sparrow, who I believe did this. Maybe she didn't do the script. I know that Argento co-wrote the script. Then you've got more details on the back, of course, which is nice. Again, landscaped artwork, which is beautifully done. Some Second Sight and Sphere logos. I like how it's like misaligned there. It won't focus. Hold on. It's misaligned there, but then like the rest of it isn't, which is interesting. George A. Romero's iconic film and novel terrified generations. Now Dawn of the Dead is back to terrify once more. Yeah, so it's good. If you haven't read this yet, you need to. If you have, you'll want to again. But yeah, it's simply put it's just chapters upon chapters of them in the book, which I don't mind. I'm interested to read it because I want to see if it develops the characters any further. Like, well, and my opinion of the main two, the main couple here. Sorry, I'm bad with character names. Is that they, used getting pregnant like they guilt tripped themselves into having a kid just to fix their relationship, but then the zombie apocalypse happened and now they're stuck with the fact that she's pregnant 4 months into a pregnancy and there's a apocalypse happening. Oofed. Next up we have the DVD. This is actually the CD set, which landscapes ever so nicely. I can't see it. Here we go. Okay, so we start there. It just drags along and drags along. The CDs themselves, nothing special about the actual looks of them. That's pretty much the gist of it. It doesn't look like much. First disc is original soundtrack by Goblin. I love Goblin. That's 17 tracks. There is Der Wolf Library Compilation Part 1, which is sound effects and other musical effects. By the looks of it, that's 29 tracks. And Der Wolf Library Compilation Part 2, which is just more of that, including the gonk. So I'd say that this is like tracks throughout the whole entire film that you can hear, like soundtracks, sound effects, and stuff that you hear through the PA system. And last but not least, we have the folding out 4-disc Blu-ray set, which has pretty much the same artwork that you've already seen. It just expands a bit further on your left here with the little signpost that says no parking, fire lane. And of course expands all the way till there. And again, I'll only really show you the basics of it because all the discs, as you can see there, look the bloody same. It does, of course, read differently. Disc 1, theatrical cut. Disc 2, the extended cans cut. Disc 3, the Argento cut. And Disc 4, special features. I've only watched the theatrical cut so far, this being my second time watching it in general, but my first time watching this version of it, and I can definitely say it is the best I've seen the film, even though I have seen it in cinema. I don't know what it expands on. I will probably do more research to see what it expands on, and potentially watch the actual film itself and see if there's like different, because it might not just be expansion, but also different cuts and different takes and whatever, and different placement of scenes, however they plan on doing it. I don't know. I'll look more into it. Dario Argento, the famous Italian giallo director who made, of course, Suspiria, he co-wrote and produced this film, and made this soundtrack with Goblin, who he worked with previously on. Actually, he hadn't even worked with them on Suspiria by this stage, because this is a 1976 film, whereas that's 1977. Hey. But yeah, so he edited his own cut, which is like a few minutes shorter. So I'm more interested to watch that version to see how the pacing goes, because look, simply put, in terms of the second sight deal, I love the set, I love the book, I love the novelization. I'm really keen to listen to the soundtrack. I put it all on my phone, and I love that it has all these extra special features and the versions of the film. It's great to finally have that on Blu-ray. It's amazing. I never thought I would have been able to watch the film, and to think only a year ago, it's December now, so only a year ago last year in 2019 was I able to watch the previous version. It might have, it was definitely last year, because I was staying at a mate's place, and I was like, he was about an hour and a half away from the Astor Theatre, and it was a work night. I'm like, fuck it, I'll see you tomorrow. I went to his place, showered, got the hell out of there, went all the way to the Astor, watched the film, went all the way back. This is like, I think it was about just past midnight, maybe 12:30 by the time I finally got back to his place. I didn't have a key or anything, so I had to count on the fact that he'd be awake. 10 minutes later, he was. But it wasn't bad watching it. it was still a little slow. Again, the pacing's a bit off for me. Like, it's very chaotic in this first 20 minutes until they, get out of there, and then you find their first wave of zombies, and it's like, okay, there's some nice use of the tension here, and it's like, shows who they are and their dynamics as characters. Not bad. And then they get to the mall, and then suddenly there's so much flow to do it. You've got to establish more about the character, especially how the woman's pregnant. Then you've got, we need to figure out like how to get the stuff from downstairs into this room. We got to clear out all the zombies. We got to lock the place up. And then once they've dealt with all of that for the next, because it's like pretty much an hour in by the time they've got everything set up enough that they're able to go around and actually take care of the zombies. And it's a 2 hour and 7 minute long film. The last maybe 10-15 minutes is them dealing with the bikie gang, but for the rest of it is them slowly clearing out the rest of the zombies and, having all their problems and whatever, which isn't really anything dramatic. It's just one character's a dickhead. The rest of it's pretty simple stuff. And then they clear it all out and they pretty much have parties and stuff. Like, hey, we can do whatever we want now because, despite the fact that one of the guys is dead, we've locked the whole place up. It's all ours. And that's, for me, the boring part of the film, because it's like, there's no tension, there's nothing happening. It's not until as if they just realize, shit, nothing's happening. We should have something happen in the film now. We'll just get a random bikie gang to come in, swoop in, like, ruin everything that they've already set up, have a wave of zombies come in, then the bikie gang is fighting the zombies, then they come down and start fighting the bikie gang is fighting them, and then it's chaos. Maybe we lose someone, maybe some people die, and then whoever else is left escapes. That's the end of the film. So it's like, wow. So yeah, like, even Helene, my girlfriend, was like, to watch through 2 hours and a bit of these characters without getting much development out of them, and it ends the way it ends is like, like, I can appreciate the whole social commentary aspect of the film. Romero's good at that shit. It's just that the film needs better development of its characters rather than an amalgamation of plot. There's plot and plot and plot and plot and plot, and there's only very small instances of actually developing the characters or connecting their relationships, like, to the point that when one of the characters has been bitten and, pretty much another character has to put him down, I don't feel sorry. I don't feel bad that he has to put him down. It's like, because I haven't really experienced the way that they've experienced their relationship together. It's like, it's kind of disappointing. So yeah, either way. And yes, if you want my opinion, Day of the Dead is the best of the trilogy. I apologize, it's my favorite one. So yeah, ultimately, I love this set. I love that I was able to finally get it. I don't care that I didn't get the UHD version. I much prefer just having the regular Blu-ray. And I am very happy to have it. Like, just looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't need... Like, I even mentioned to Helene, I'm like, this doesn't need a UHD version. You're okay to get it. Yeah, sure, spend the extra $20-$30, however you want to go about it. But it just, for me, it's like, if they had a combined set of the UHD and the Blu-ray, then I would have gotten it. But because they didn't, I'm like, nah, I'll stick with the regular Blu-ray. It's still a 4K remaster. It still looks gorgeous. If I had an upscale, I could upscale it to make it look like it's an actual 4K. But I'm good with how it is. And it also has some good audio mixes of 1.0 stereo, 2.0 stereo, and 5.1, which is the mix I listened to, and I liked it. It was nice. So yes, as an overall, I would recommend this set if you don't have Dawn of the Dead, which is not an easy step, feat to get to. I also have the Criterion of Night of the Living Dead, the color remake of Night of the Living Dead, the Shout Factory release of Day of the Dead, and I have the Umbrella release of Day of the Dead coming in the mail. So yeah, I really like these films. Nevertheless, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. As a back-to-back, I just released my Back to the Future trilogy steelbook unboxing, which I also got for my birthday from my brothers. So feel free to check that out, probably somewhere on screen. And my premiums film playlist, whatever playlist, is also up there. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Telecreations. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. You don't actually have to share it, but a like and a subscribe is always nice. Thank you. On this channel, I unbox this kind of stuff, or I talk about films and essays and stuff. or make films, or do comedy stuff. I don't know. It's a weird year, so I'm just doing whatever. Outside of that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Adios. Let's dawn and dead.